All right, everybody, the three Americans here, Lee, twogunmojo.com. We got Tom the Bear. Ty's out for this one. Tom, we have another instance of a American citizen defending their home and, taking action. So we have a story here out of Oklahoma. A young man, 23 years old, is at home. He apparently still lives or was, in his father's home. Wasn't his home specifically, but was in his father's home. I believe he lived there. Three young men broke in, young being 19, 17, and 16. Black mass, one had a knife, one had brass knuckles. Apparently they were threatening him. He defended himself with an AR-15 and shot and killed the three invaders, the three criminals. And turns out that the getaway driver, some young lady who was with these three, is also being charged with felony murder as an accomplice, even though she was involved in the getaway vehicle. So that makes her an accomplice to the crime.
So this is a good story in the sense that obviously an American was able to protect their home by using a tool. An AR-15 is a tool. You can use it for sport, you can use it for fun, whatever the case may be, but it's also a home defense tool. I've heard, actually, I've been reading a bunch of different articles. So again, the details are kind of sketchy. But what you call it? One thing I would say is my understanding is that this group of individuals, actually had broken into this house's backyard and stolen some. It might have been alcohol, I think it said. In one article, and the other article wasn't specific. But that's just it. Is they committed a crime, and then they were emboldened for whatever reason, and thought they'd take it to a next level. If this individual did not protect himself in his home, to what level are they willing to take it? You don't know this. Obviously, I think Lee and I agree that it is in a way tragic because they are young individuals, but in a very short time, we saw a level of escalation. At what point does it become something else? So I feel that this person who was in fear of his life, and even one article I think even gets into the 911 call that he made, and he basically, after he shot these people, he was barricaded in his room because he wasn't sure. Again, he doesn't know what their intent are, what level of escalation. They were armed, maybe not with a gun, but they were armed. And we all, anybody who worries about self-defense knows that you don't need necessarily to be threatened with a gun to use a gun to defend yourself. There are tons of deadly weapons that can be used. But again, this story is a good one because he was able to protect himself and his home. It's a little bit tragic because young people obviously lost their lives.
And I agree with you, Tom, and I want to say very clearly, it is absolutely tragic that 3 teenagers died. And they chose to commit a crime. They chose to take an action that was not only illegal, but dangerous. They broke into somebody's home in a state that recognizes the right of the people to defend themselves against other people coming into their property and attempting to do them harm. And it did state that apparently, according to the articles, these 3 kids were looking to do harm. They came in with masks over their heads and armed with weapons. One with the knife, one with brass knuckles. Who knows what their intent was? How do you judge that? Exactly. And so this young man defended the home he lived in, the home his dad lived in, and took action. Now, I do want to point out a couple of things here. One, apparently he didn't take Joe Biden's advice and get a shotgun. Apparently the AR-15 was much easier to shoot and worked better than discharging a shotgun of any kind in a house. That's number one. Number two, in one of the articles, it does go through the 911 call that he made. And fortunately, Oklahoma does have a very specifically written stand your ground law that protects this gentleman. However, I would point out, I'll have a link down below to this article that has the dispatch 911 typed out transcript. That is not what you say to a 911 dispatcher. If you are involved in a shooting and you've defended yourself, when you call 911, you say, I have been the victim of a crime. People are injured and need medical attention. That is all you say. Hello, 911 operator. Hello, my name is such and such. I have been the victim of a crime. There are people on scene that are injured and need medical attention. Give your location and that's it. Repeat the same thing. You do not put on a recording that can be played back in court anything other than your name, your location, and that there are a person or individuals that need medical attention. You're not, even if you are a doctor or a paramedic, you do not need to describe the medical attention. I need an ambulance. There are people that need medical attention. That is it. You do not give any detail that can be played back in court because the court system is against you. The district attorneys are against you. They want to prosecute you for any little thing, which leads me to my next thing. Get insured. Get insured. If you own a firearm that you intend to have around to protect yourself, whether you carry openly concealed or not, whether it's just in your home, you need to be insured by a reputable company. I'm insured by USCCA. There are a couple others out there. Figure out which one is best for you, and you need to be insured. Do you have the money to defend yourself? I know I don't. I don't have 10 grand immediate money for a deposit, a retainer for an attorney, or for bail money or anything else. Absolutely, you must be insured and get educated. Know the laws of your state. Know what you can and can't do. Talk to a reputable attorney about that. Don't just go out folks, I am pointing the finger at myself. I did this for years. I had a gun. I even carried the twins for a while without being educated, without being trained. Get educated. Know your laws. Know what you can and can't do. Get trained. It's an absolute must. The legal system is totally against you. Please, I can't stress that enough. Anything else, Tom?
No, just to reinforce your points. I mean, obviously, understand, talking to legal counsel, Lee and I have had legal counsel, and I don't mean like together or the same organizations, independently, separately. You know, I have talked to a lawyer about, I am insured. I've talked to a lawyer about what my rights are if a certain situation occurs, and things of that nature. I've had several firearms instructors basically guide you in, again, what should a 911 call sound like from you if you had to use deadly force. And just like Lee said, it's very basic information. You don't go into any details, et cetera, et cetera. It's be aware. If you are in a situation where deadly force had to be used, your adrenaline levels are high, your mind is not working, you have tunnel vision. I mean, in this case, you know, he could still hear one of the individuals talking downstairs. So he doesn't know the condition that they're in. He doesn't know anything, which, again, in a situation where you're in a 911 call, and you're having additional audio or video or visual inputs in your mind, you can start to ramble. You can start to just talk out loud as you're thinking things, et cetera, et cetera. Be prepared for that situation. Again, instructors have told us, legal counsel has actually told us what is recommended, et cetera. Do the same for yourself. Understand your local laws, understand your state laws, understand federal laws. By all means, go to that extent.
Excellent. And there you go, folks. That's how it is.